What is up, tasties and tastettes? Welcome back to another episode of FTWGT Weekly. I'm your boy Lenny, joined to my right by the man who loves to be his L all over some T's. How the fuck are you, Dante?
I'm good, dude.
Did you see the hand motion?
No, I didn't actually.
It was dirty. This week, though, folks, it's going to be an extreme op, because the thing is, we normally record this the day after tomorrow. But this week, we're going to our vertical limit before we drop 8 below, because we're scaling fucking Everest. And coming out alive.
I see what you did there.
Burr.
Shout out to Gucci.
Gucci armed and dangerous. Shoot you everywhere from the ankles up. Oh, man, we are in the fucking building, baby. Woo! That was a cold fucking open.
Still going with the
burning.
puns. This man, you cannot stop him.
Oh! Gonna fucking catch hypothermia up in here. No, but seriously, I hope everybody's doing well. It's good to be back again. This week we have a full plate ahead of us. We are going to kick things off, though, with what we watched last week. We told you we were going to see Wick. I didn't...
Don't know if I love that pronunciation, but moving on.
I thought about
it. Oh, God.
Yeah, we saw John Wick.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
That's clean.
Yeah.
That's a clean one. And before we kind of get into our thoughts, we're going to do what we normally do, and that's going to be analyze the box office a bit. Do you want to start giving me some numbers, Dante? Where did the movie itself finish off at? You can tell I'm sweating because my fucking hair is falling apart. God damn.
They did a whopping 73.5 mil for their opening weekend.
They did how much?
73.5 mil.
That's pretty good. Can you tell me, do I have it up there still? What did Avatar do?
Also, for context, you're asking, do you have it up there still? He doesn't trust me enough with the Googling that he pre-Googled his questions for me.
I didn't get a thank you either. I literally laid out the entirety of Google. And did you see, because you watched over my shoulder, did you see how easily and how effortless it was for me?
No. You found them. But it took you a few minutes, and you didn't have the pressure of needing the right now answer.
There's 9 clips, in front of this. There's 9 pages in front of him. It's acting like I looked up one thing. It took me the longest to, do the box office thing, but he's had 4 weeks to figure out the box office thing, and I figured it out in 5 minutes maybe? 2 minutes? 3 minutes? I don't know. Sub 5 minutes.
Whatever.
All right, just, before you throw stones, Glass House, chill the fuck out.
You also didn't get me the opening weekend numbers for Avatar, so I still...
There was, what it was on the Box Mojo thing? It had it all listed out, and I think it was just too confusing, so we didn't keep it. Gotcha. But you can, so if you go on...
I pulled it already.
But that numbers page, you can actually go back week over week.
Yeah, but I pulled Avatar's number, so Avatar's opening weekend was 134 mil. Which, why did that many people pay to go see that movie?
I mean, they like video games, I'd assume.
Whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to be a lot more, and that's actually not that much more when you consider, how much it cost to make, right?
Damn. I mean, Avatar's production budget was basically $500 million.
Yeah, and they have to make that much opening weekend.
What was John Wick's budget?
I'd imagine they probably made it back already.
Not yet. Their production budget was $100 million.
Okay. Either way, this is a hit, right? This is the second biggest movie of the year. I think this would qualify as now. It edged out Creed for second place. I feel like Creed would have, that's just a guess. That's not a hard number. I just assumed that Creed was the second biggest box office opening. And then Scream would have been 3 for the year. And then go down from there.
Yeah. I'm not confirming that. I don't have all those numbers in front of me.
Do you still have this week's estimated release numbers in front of you, the list of everything that performed this week?
Those. This one, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to quickly just look at this. So, Dante just mentioned, John Wick dominated the box office. The really alarming thing for me is how the decline between movies, and especially with the level of this, it's up against a superhero movie that came out a week ago. And actually, I didn't have this topic anywhere, but we probably should talk about this for a minute too, Dante. Are you familiar with all the drama surrounding Shazam right now?
No.
So Zachary Levi. Yeah. He
Oh man, Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck. He has been coming to the defense of like the production of Shazam. And I think you're probably a little triggered because like it fucking bombed, and like that really's gotta suck, right? Like how embarrassing that must feel to like
to have your breakout or not breakout superhero movie, but like
I mean, he hasn't
have your superhero movie bomb. Like, yeah,
you're probably right in the sense of like it's not his breakout. He had a very successful TV career, but I don't think at this point he's had like a successful movie career, right? Yeah. And you have this opportunity, and it's something you love. He said he's a comic book nerd, just like the rest of us, right? So, it's clearly something that he not only had an attachment from in terms of pride, but I think it's just something sentimentally that meant a lot to him. And having to face the fact that a week later your movie couldn't even pass 10 million in the box office it's got to be hard. But one of the things that he brought up was that like, fuck yeah, he wanted to have more to do with like the grander scheme of what was happening in DC. And essentially what he is saying is that The Rock blocked all of that from happening. You don't know who that is. That's Dwayne Johnson, Dante.
No, I know exactly who that is.
No, I don't have context. It's not Jason Momoa.
No,
he doesn't play Aquaman.
No.
It's not Roman Reigns either.
No, I know. Yeah.
All right, because he's not at WrestleMania next weekend.
The Rock, he played the Thing in Fantastic Four, right?
Close.
Yeah,
close enough. He did play a gay dude in Be Cool.
Didn't know that. The more you know.
It's like his first, one of his first acting roles outside of wrestling. It was kind of good. Either way, back to the real important stuff. The Rock kind of politicked his way into, like, they wanted to have Henry Cavill in the movie. Couldn't get him. They wanted to integrate Hawkman and some other chick into the post-credit of that movie. They couldn't do it because he didn't let them, basically. Like, he just blocked a lot of different things, and he never made it easy for them. And it's basically like he iced out Shazam, which he fucking got his movie.
Wait, you're saying The Rock blocked all this out?
Yes.
Like, he has that power over this stuff?
I mean, he's been the number one grossing actor in Hollywood for like 5 years now, basically.
Damn. Okay.
It's like him and like there's a reason why like him and Vin Diesel can write into their contracts like the amount of punches that they can take. Like they have point systems in their movies to dictate like who comes out so that they always look like they're the strongest, basically. That's not completely relevant either. Well, it's just to say that like Black Adam, I don't think exists if Shazam didn't do well in a way, right? And to my knowledge, not an expert on this, but I'm pretty sure like Black Adam and Shazam in the comics are extremely tied to each other. And he had nothing to do with either one of these movies, basically, right? Zachary Levi mentioned at the post-credit after Shazam 1, he's like, we wanted to have more than just the neck down of Superman. They just didn't let us have Henry Cavill. Like, we couldn't use him. So we had to do that. We wanted to do a bunch of really cool ideas, and we just had to write all different movies because every time we had an idea, they would just be like, we can't do that. So The Rock can go fuck himself, is what it seems. The Rock has taken a real fucking heel turn in the past year. Are we all on the same page there? I feel like that's... Again, a heel turn is in wrestling. The Rock was a wrestler, Dante.
Okay, another reference I don't get. That's cool.
Got it. Yep. Cool. But yeah, back to how self-conscious. It's got to be like when you're an artist and you put out a song that nobody likes or, whatever it might be. But it does suck. I feel bad for the guy. Again, I think that people should check the movie out. I'd say at this point, it should just go to HBO Max so more people can see it and like he can start getting some positive feedback. Because I think without the pressures of like box office performance, people would have a lot more positive things to say about the movie. I still do think like I'm getting the feeling that we're probably a little more positive on it than a lot of people are. Which is a bummer, but Scream still holding down the third spot. I think they dropped to 8 mil.
Yeah.
That's still kind of a disappointing drop, but I'm not overly shocked. I'm just surprised that it went like John Wick did 75 million or whatever, right? Yeah. And then the next closest thing's like $9 million. That's kind of crazy. Like the discrepancy there. Were you surprised though, when we went to John Wick on Thursday with the audience turnout?
What do you mean? Like as full as it was?
No, I actually thought it was not. Think about what it was like. What did we see? Was Creed maybe? You weren't there.
No.
I'm pretty sure Creed had like it was very busy.
Huh.
Like, you know when you walk in on a Thursday, Dante, and like there's like the line for concessions. Like we walk in usually like 10 minutes after, like five to 10 minutes after the actual movie start time is when we walk in because we don't try to watch the credits, right?
The
And
previews, yeah.
you know when we have those times when, you know when it feels like it's a busy movie to me is when we walk in and I have to stress like about is it going to take too long to get through this line to get in there and buy, you know, my food or a drink or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good indicator to go by.
And I just didn't feel like this week. Especially, I guess, like the line, because we have the Stubbs pass, right?
Yeah.
So we have the cut the line. I had an awkward moment with that. Did I tell you about this?
No.
So I always feel like super self-conscious about that. And I like, because they let you cut people, basically, right? It's like a fast pass at an amusement
I was going to say,
park.
it's like paying for your fast pass at Six Flags.
Yeah. So when we got there this week, there was a line of like 5 or 6 people waiting to order. And there was nobody in our fast line. It was me. It was Kai. Kai was the only one in the line.
Yeah.
Then there was a person in front, a person behind him, and then me. We all showed up, I think, after the people that were in this line. And the shitty thing, like with these fucking movie theaters, and it's not their fault. It's like everywhere now. There's generally only like one person working the cash register, right?
Yeah. So are you getting at like the fact that they usually go 1-1, right?
Yeah. There's usually a person working that line, like our line.
Yeah.
And there's usually a person working this one. There was nobody that night. So they take you guys, because you were 2 people in front of me. Then they take the people in front of me. I think they had taken one person and they took the people in front of me. And I go to approach and the people in the line next to us try jumping because they're like, I'm not, like, we were here first. They try going and the lady's like, no, like he's got to go first. And I never want to be that guy. Like I would have waited I was like cool with waiting for the whole fucking line of people who got there before me to go, basically, you know?
Well, you say that, but like if that's the case, then just get in the regular line.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I like cutting the line. I paid for this. Y'all want to cut the line? Pay for your fast pass.
So basically, like he goes to step up, and I'm like, and they're like, no, we got to take him. And I'm like, dude, no, please, like by all means, go before me. I'll go right after you. It's not like even if I waited till the next person after them, like I was cool. Like it's not that big of a deal, right? But like we just had that awkward moment. It's like when you're walking down a narrow hallway, and you have to try and figure out who's gonna go left or right, and you do that weird like dance. That's what we did for a second.
You always go right.
But what if they always go right?
Don't go right? No, if you're both going the opposite direction, if you both go right, then you're opposite.
But you know what they say, like 2 rights, they don't make a left.
No, nobody said that.
So either way, I mean that was stupid, but that was like kind of my moment before the movie. Either way, but yeah, I usually use that as like an indicator of how busy I think the movies will be, and it wasn't as busy as I had expected. The other thing I wonder if hurts this box office, and I guess it doesn't in a sense, because like if it did, Avatar I assume is about 3 hours long, and that made a bunch of money. So this was like 3 hours long. The reason I bring that up as far as box office performance is because obviously if it's a longer movie, you can have less showings, right?
Yeah.
You have to you have less showings because you have to extend throughout the day. That's the only reason I wonder if that like impacts anything. I think it's kind of crazy to do like a movie like this and make it 3 hours. I don't know how you feel about that.
I definitely struggle with it. I didn't get much sleep the night before, and I feel like I was only really eyes open for the action sequences, which is still like 90% of the movie.
Yeah. And just for sake of everything, there are time codes down below. Generally, I don't think we're going to spoil too much specific stuff, but I do recommend, like, I am going to ask Dante at some point what his favorite action sequence. So I would just say 3, 2, 1, spoiler. Like, if you don't want to know about John Wick, just skip to the next step. Nothing else is really spoiler related. I don't think the rest of the episode out. So, yeah, John Wick being 3 hours, I find much the same that for me, the first 20 to 30 minutes, I was very engaged. And then the action picks up. And I'm, again, like, holy shit, this is awesome. That movie is, like, reinvented martial arts scenes, or reinvigorate it might be the better way to put it.
I think the cinematography is a huge part of it, too.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, just the way they film it, in addition to the way they choreograph it, is crazy.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Do I jump ahead? I know you said you were going to ask me what my favorite scene was.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say like what if there's one scene in particular, and we're gonna, I'll probably, it might be the same. So if he gives the same scene as I would have said, I have one other scene that I want to mention. So yeah, which one are you talking?
So I was between two scenes, and I know the one you're thinking I was gonna say. When homie's doing the donuts around them and just popping them, like, yeah, that was sick.
I didn't even think about that one.
Oh, all right. I thought that was the answer you were looking for.
There's so many fucking I wasn't looking for any. I was actually just interested in what you were saying about, because I don't hear you talk about cinematography very often. So I was
well, that's where, like,
what about that scene? Like, let's get real fucking nerdy with it. Like, what was it about that scene?
So that scene, it was just kind of the craziness of holding a donut and actually being able to keep your aim. Like, doing a donut isn't that simple, and it requires a lot more focus than people think. And then to, on top of that, be like hitting your shots, like aiming at these people. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of nuts. But cinematography wise, wasn't even what came to mind. What my competitor for favorite scene was the later scene after that, where they shot in top down view.
Yes. So I mean, I had one other one that I really liked, and it was just good. And it's not really, mine's not one specific. I did love the nunchucks quite a bit, but yeah, I would say the biggest standout scene to me is the overhead scene with the incendiary shotgun.
Yeah.
That's fucking madness, dude. It's just like,
it felt like a video game.
This movie's on crack. Like, the action sequences in this movie are on crack. It's the cinematography for me, and I think what it comes down to is when you have things like Mission Impossible, and in this instance, John Wick, Keanu Reeves said he did about 90% of his own stunts in this movie. I mean, it's like mid-40s, I think. Maybe even 50s. So that's pretty impressive.
I think he's closer to 50, yeah.
Yeah, he might be post-50 in all honesty. But I thought that was kind of interesting that not interesting. I think that's part of the reason. 55,
yo, my man's 58 years old.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
I didn't think he was that old. Holy shit.
I'm going to look like shit when I'm 58.
I'm right there with you, buddy.
Yeah. Fuck, I might not even make it.
It's not promised, you know?
How old was the dude Lance Riddick in that movie? You know who that is?
No.
The guy who is the concierge at the Continental.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to guess Lance Riddick was approximately 60, which is crazy because, like you said, Keanu, 58. But I think the reason that they're able to make the cinematography so nice in this movie is primarily because of the fact that he does it, right? So when you don't have to worry, there was a scene in Shazam last week, right? We're already in the spoiler section, so I think I'm safe, right? There's a scene that there's a person in Shazam, and it's very obvious that they're both not in the movie together, right? I brought this up to you guys because they only ever showed the back while they were talking to each of them. So they were both filming for the movie, but they didn't film the scenes together. They filmed them independently, and then they spliced them together. And I just bring that up to say that, like, that takes you out of the immersiveness of the movie, right? When you can pick up that those two people weren't acting together. The same thing that, like, if you can pick out a stunt double, it's going to take you immediately out of an action scene. But the fact that you're able to do it, and on top of the fact that because Keanu Reeves can do it, he takes so much care into the choreographing of those fight sequences too, right? They're very complex. I think that's one of the things I was trying to find myself watching, and I'll have to watch it again to see where the cuts are, you know? Because like, how much of those are they doing? It's like On Bach, I think, was what was really famous. Have you ever watched the On Bach movies?
No.
They're like a Tony Jaa action movie. I think the first one he's trying to save an elephant or some shit.
Okay.
But like, it's really famous because in the first one there's this like fight sequence that he does that's one take all the way up a staircase while he's fighting a bunch of people. And it's always been really popular because like one takes are extremely hard to do. They're hard to film. And like the amount of stamina that's required to do that was just crazy. And like that at the time, and just, I wonder with like a 58-year-old guy, like how much stamina does he have to do those? So I wonder how much at a time they are filming of it. And then to remember all of that, I guess like it's like a dance routine to a point. But yeah, it's just very impressive. So I think that that's what lends it to being as popular as it is that the action sequences are so complex, they're brutal, although the most cringeworthy thing of this whole movie to me was when dude gets the knife through his hand. Right? Like, that's the one moment in the whole movie that I had to look away.
That made you cringe?
Oh, yeah.
Like, are you just squeamish?
I just wouldn't want to see that.
Bro, didn't we just watch Scream the week before?
That's just people getting fucking stabbed, dude.
Okay, so all he did was get stabbed.
But then, really no, it wasn't the stab through the hand. It's when he has to pull it, when he makes him like, okay, like, to prove it to me, you can either pull that out of your hand or you can pull your hand out of it. That's what fucked me up. It's like, because I was thinking about like cutting the web of your finger. I saw a chick yesterday who, she's a professional skateboarder, and she got her lip and her nose bit off by a pit bull.
Oh.
Her top lip and her fucking nose, dude.
God damn.
So like she got surgery, plastic surgery. They fixed her nose and they put like they graft skin onto her lip. But like I saw pictures of her before it. Whoa. Damn.
Oh, like post-accident before surgery?
Yeah. It's basically you could just see like here up to under her nose on her fucking mouth. Yeah, isn't that crazy, dude?
That's
pit bulls are nice dogs, but I couldn't deal with the stress.
They're one of those dogs where it's like, they're nice dogs, but you better hope they love you.
Right? Like, because like I doubt that this girl like was like being malicious to it, you know? She just caught it at a bad moment, or it like thought she was a fucking toy,
or like at any point it could perceive you as a threat.
Yeah, man. That's just stress. Like, I always thought it was stress like towards like other people, like not like, you know, worrying about what your dog would do to somebody else, not necessarily stress towards myself, but like that's a lot to take on. There's a dog in this movie. There is. I appreciated that about this too. It has like a full circle nature to it. You know, this movie starts because of, you know, his wife and all of that, but really it's the death of his dog that like sets him on this path back into the world of assassins and trying to get back out of the world of assassins, right? This movie picks up right where the last one, or like a while after the last one. He's kind of been in hiding, it seems like, but he's ready to, or he's like brought back into the fold again because there's a new head of the table, not Roman Reigns. Again, that's a wrestler, Dante.
Oh, yeah, no, I knew that.
Yeah, like The Rock.
Yeah. And Jason Momoa.
He's the... Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's like a new head of the table. And are you familiar with who this head of the table was as an actor, Dante?
That was the dude that played Morpheus, right?
That's not the head of the table.
Crap.
I'm talking about the white dude, the bad guy.
No.
Did you see the It movies, the new ones?
The what movies?
It.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't watch
That's
any.
because you're a pussy.
Call it what you want.
Maybe that's true. Yeah, it might be right.
No, you're entitled to your own opinion, even if it's false.
Yeah, the scene where he sticks the knife through the dude's hand. I realized who he was. The whole time I was like, why do I know who this is? And the reason I couldn't tell is because I've only really seen him with face paint on to this point, right? He's like,
oh, he's the clown?
He's the clown.
Oh, shit. Pennywise, right?
Yes. But you can tell in that scene, like, there's just something about the way his face was, because there's a lot of scenes where, like, you get close-ups of his face as Pennywise, and I could just see that, like, oozing out of him, and it makes him a very good bad guy. Huh. And he's, like, the slimy, like, shit heel. He's, like, the one who, like, doesn't fight his own battles, but acts like he's the toughest person in the world. And that's why you have the character of Donnie Yen here, who I think, you know, this movie's Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Like, this is his movie, but Donnie Yen was the star of this fucking movie, right?
The star, I wouldn't say. I'd say Keanu still held his own, but
obviously he's John Wick.
Duh. But
but
yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed seeing him there. You know how we like to joke about how I don't know who's who. Mm-hmm. I went through a portion of that thinking, yo, this is Leslie Chow from The Hangover. I was like, yo, dude, Leslie Chow badass.
What's his name? Ken Jeong? Is that his name? The fresh off the boat dude?
I realized that I was wrong very quickly, but there was probably like a 2-3 minute period where I was like, "Yo, it's Leslie Chow."
Yeah. Suck on me.
Wanna
Motherfucker.
fuck on me?
I'm gonna fuck on you.
Yeah, that happened.
Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
dude. I can't believe that. That's hysterical. He would, dude. Imagine if they just like, you know how they did like Crazy Rich Asians? Imagine if John Wick was just like, let's do a riff on that. They just brought them all in. Yeah, we can make a spot for Ken Jeong in the Continental. We always need a jokester assassin.
Bro, grand finale to bring Jet Li.
That's my dude. That's my dude. That's my first favorite Asian person. No, second. Jackie Chan was first. Sorry.
Yeah, Jackie. Yeah.
See, that's offensive.
No, come on. That was a direct quote from Jackie Chan Adventures.
Nazis like, I love.
Hey, bro, come on. Why you gotta put me out there? Right? You know?
I'm sorry. I'll put a beep over that. My bad.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't say you graduated because you didn't.
See, now you just being
Now I'm just being mean.
Yeah. No, that was a dig.
That was just.
Yeah.
Well, we did an episode like 4 weeks ago, where we talked about Maine. So like, the story's out there.
Yeah.
I'll cut whatever you want me to. My bad.
No, it's all good. It's good.
Nothing's off limits on here. Oh God. This is still like in very typical us fashion. Like I don't even think you'd call these spoilers because they're just like there's no constant thought that happens.
I mean, yeah,
here.
you think you're getting a spoiler, and if you listen to the wrong section, you think Leslie Chow's fucking John Wick.
You know who is in it? The dude who plays Scorpion in the new Mortal Kombat. He is the one who runs the Japanese Continental. Because it is Japan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You saw Scorpion? You saw Mortal Kombat?
No.
Do you see movies?
Occasionally. You know, I still want to see Creed 3. I think it's my favorite movie I haven't seen yet. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that clip will be released at some point because, like, the idea that that's still ranked number 3. Is that still number 1 for March for you, Creed 3?
Honestly, probably, yeah.
No, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, the movie is exactly what you would think it is. It is, action, balls to the wall action for a majority of it. I will say this from a negative side of it. I found myself a little, like, yawny about, the end of the second act into the third act kind of deal. Just because I do feel like you could at some point tighten up some of the fight sequences. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to ruin fucking movies for people, man. I want people to see things and enjoy them. So I don't want to like go into super specifics, right? But like, there's scenes, and he probably does it. You could find this in 3, 2, and 1. Spoiler. You could find it like in any of the other 3 movies. Just the scenes where he like shoots somebody like 17 times to try and kill them, you know, like because they're wearing body armor or whatever it is. And you do that to 10 people straight. It's cool as fuck, and he finds new and unique ways to do it throughout the movie, but you could probably just cut 1 or 2 of them in each sequence.
I do like where they kind of turned, like, gunslinging into some form of a martial arts style.
Yo, yeah, this is, like, its own thing,
yeah,
right?
Like, that's where it gets really cool for me, and, like, that's where I'm like, I could watch 3 hours of this and not have an issue. I
want them to curve bullets.
Ooh, okay.
Like, that'd be fun.
Bring it back.
If there was a world where Want It would have worked,
yeah,
like splicing that into this would have like worked, right?
And then we get an Angelina Jolie versus Keanu Reeves.
I think we've stumbled onto something.
Yeah. Tell me that wouldn't sell.
Like, what if like I'm gonna workshop this at some point. I'm gonna maybe work through it right now. So, are you familiar with the way they get their hits in Wanted?
Oh, the loom.
The loom, right?
Yeah.
So there's like a loom and it writes all this stuff. In this, you know how like the New York is gone. Like the New York Continental is gone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What if New York Continental closes, what reopens is like the Wanted loom.
Okay.
And it's just like, I forget who was the one writing like the hits. Was it one person was just telling them who to kill in Wanted?
You gotta remember, I don't remember any of these things. I'm surprised I even remember the loom.
Do you know that Chris Pratt's in that movie? Everybody knows that.
Everybody except me.
I do that.
God.
Yeah, we'll workshop this, but I do think a world where curving bullets happens is also a world where John Wick would exist. Right? Yeah. Like, there should have been a scene where he curved a bullet in this movie. Preferably the end.
Do you think Angelina still owns the rights to curving bullets?
Do you think she patented that?
Bro, I ain't seen it since.
Could have been James McAvoy who patented it.
He ain't got enough money.
He ain't about it?
No.
When did it... Is that like the last action movie Angelina did? It's kind of crazy. Did she become not healthy? You know?
I don't know.
I wonder if she became like, if she wasn't, if that's why. I mean, she had like the kids and she had the divorce, so maybe that's why she got out the game.
No, it does. When it was in the last action movie. Wasn't Salt after that?
No, nobody remembers Salt.
Oh, come on. I like that one.
That's why nobody remembers it.
Fair. What about Eternals?
I don't think that counts.
No.
It's like Steve's like 5th favorite Marvel movie. Though.
No way.
Pretty sure it is. Let me know. Let me know, Archer.
Ooh, Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, that counts.
I bet.
So yeah, just tighten up the fight sequences a little bit, and I think you could have shaved like 15 minutes off this movie, and it would have been for the better. But all 3 hours have something that is 100% worthwhile, and every time the action picks back up, you're immediately right back to being engaged. I just don't know if I was ever as engaged in the story as I was the first like 30 minutes of the movie.
No, I think I even said that to you like right after, and like part of it was, like I said, I didn't get a ton of sleep the night before, so it was going to take a lot to engage me. And I just feel like this is a movie with a very loosely put together plot, just to give you an excuse to throw all this action at you, and I'm cool with that, right?
I don't know if it's like loosely put together though, because I think that they've done, yes and no.
Loosely
because
put together isn't probably the best way to describe it, but it just wasn't the most engaging.
Because I think that it's been coherent through all 4 movies, like the common line.
Yeah.
I do wonder, like, wasn't there a point in like the second or third movie where like the bounty on his head was going up and up?
Fun fact, that must have been the third one because I didn't see it.
You ever saw the third one?
No.
There's a scene where he uses a horse to kill somebody. It's fucking awesome.
Must have been the third one. That's hilarious.
Yeah, there's a scene in the third one. He's like fighting in like a barn area.
Yeah.
And he slaps a horse on the ass and it kicks a dude in the head. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Okay.
You should watch that shit, dude. I think that's the one Common's in too.
Oh,
I know you love
Common Sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually was trying to figure out if Common was dead while I was watching this movie. Not the real life Common, but like his character in the movie.
Huh.
Yeah, so tighten it up, shorten the movie up, and I think you'll improve it a ton. I had a tab up there for like spinoffs. Could you quickly give me a shout out on that?
John Wick spinoff prequel series, The Continental.
Yeah, so I think there's a few different rumors for what ones they're going to do. So I read today, and I don't know how accurate this is, that there's a rumor that on Peacock coming in September, you're going to be getting a 3-part miniseries called The Continental. Again, 3, 2, 1 spoiler. The post credits for this, I think, set up a spinoff.
Okay.
Right? Like I'd say that. I should have probably proofread the articles that I gave you or I also should have just read them to you since.
Yeah.
You can't read.
No, I'm just saying, there's the Continental, but then it also says Ballerina. So I think there's 2 spinoffs.
Yeah. So because Ana de Armas is rumored to do one.
Okay.
I think Ana de Armas is rumored to do the Ballerina, which would kind of make sense because you remember his ties. First of all, there's ballerinas in this movie, right? There are. I wonder if that is foreshadowing. It's kind of interesting when you think about it now. Secondly, if you think about the world that he goes into in Russia or whatever, I feel like that's very much like a place you'd have ballerinas. Where did ballerinas come from? Are they still a real thing?
I mean, they're definitely still a real thing. Are you asking?
I haven't seen them since Save the Last Dance.
Oh my god.
I haven't seen them since Step Up or Step Up 2, The Streets.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that was a good one.
Or Honey.
Why
are all these movies just about white bitches dancing?
It sells.
Like, isn't that wild?
Hey, man, you put out a dance movie, I'll watch it. Most of them I find entertaining, no matter how bad they are.
Because then you have, okay, like just for a paradox here, a juxtaposition. I wish D was here for this conversation. I think it makes it more palatable for people.
Oh, God. Where are you going?
Like Stomp the Yard and You Got Served, right? You have those. We mentioned ATL. Does that classify as a dance movie or just a roller skating movie?
It's not really dance. It is more a roller skating movie.
I guess my point being is it feels like the black version of dance movies are male dominant, but in order to like do hip hop movies for Hollywood with women, they make them white women. Why is that?
I think Step Up was male dominant as well. Wasn't that Channing Tatum shit?
But there was the chick in that. And it's also
there's a chick
white,
in all these movies,
white
though.
male dominant, but like no, but like there's the main girl. He met his wife on that movie, ex-wife, Jenna Dewan.
Sure,
she's pretty hot. Misogynistic, my bad. Yeah, and like again, like I mean, it's just a question. I don't really know what my point is in that. Just to say, like, why is there a common theme? Like, why didn't Megan Good? Maybe she can't dance. So maybe that's what it was.
Ooh.
But you know what I mean? Like, there was plenty of chicks they could have chose for those roles, but instead it was like, let's make Julia Stiles into a hip-hop dancer. Let's make Jessica Alba into a hip-hop dancer. Why were those the movies that were being made? I've really opened up Pandora's box for you now, haven't I?
We're not getting into that. Moving on. Please.
The whitewashing of hip-hop through 20-year-old white women. But those are the two spinoffs that we're getting?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
People are going to miss out. You know what the thing is? People are going to skip this because of the spoilers, so they won't even know that I brought up the whitewashing of hip-hop dance. What a shame. I'll have to clip that out. Make sure the world sees that one. All right, we're going to move on. It just like John Wick, should probably tighten that section up a bit, huh? We're all over the place. Did you see, Dante, where do I want to go next? I think I want to go to, did you see the Power Rangers trailer?
No, I haven't.
No. Are you a Power Rangers fan? I've asked you this.
I don't think it's fair for me to classify myself as a fan because I know how big there are the fans of Power Rangers get, but I did enjoy the movies or the shows, whatever, when I was younger.
What's the earliest memory of the Power Rangers you have?
Earliest memory, huh? Probably either between Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or I had like this Power Rangers video game on Super Nintendo. It was like a side scroller that I really liked.
You know they've re-released some side scrollers from Power Rangers in the past few years.
Really?
Or not re-released, but they've re-released. Like they've released new ones.
Huh.
Battle of the Grid was one of them, and I think they released another one more recently. They're really good. They're really good, and they're 4-player co-op.
I might have to check
that out.
Like
arcade style.
I don't know if I'm necessarily at the point where I could enjoy side scrollers anymore, but
I think for me personally, what I really enjoyed about Battle for the Grid was the fact that it's 4-player. So like me and Matt played through some of the levels, but like, you know, I'm always a big fan of like party games if you have the people to play them with, right?
Yeah.
So a game like that, I think I could play through the entirety of that game if I had 3 of my friends over to like each pick up a controller and play as a ranger.
Same but thing also as, like, exactly what you said. Like I think that's a thing where like you have to all be in the same room for it to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's like a get on Xbox Live or PlayStation or whatever and play remotely and you're in your own room by yourself. I think you got to be in like the same room for something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's fun, right? But it's the same thing. Like I bought WWE 2K23 like last week on my day off, and I've never played those games online, but they have the online features, right? And I love playing those games with people. Like I love when my friends are over and we can do a Royal Rumble or like a ladder match or something like that. It's always a lot of fun. Yeah. But I don't think that I don't think personally that I want to go online and play with like strangers, but I think it's more so that the people online take it seriously, or I assume they do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this, like, I guess I wouldn't play Madden with my friends, but like Madden's pretty much an individual game for me, but it's more like, I just think that like, I'm not going to go on there and play with these sweaty ass dudes. Sweaty not meaning that they live in their mom's basement and they don't take showers, but sweaty in the sense that like they're really try hard. Like at the video game.
Sweaty. They're putting a lot of friction on the controller.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like from playing Call of Duty, like imagine coming across a guy like that, but in a WWE game. That'd be fun. Like, it just doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
You're just stuck in like a constant reversal loop.
Like the dude that's on 8 hours a day trying to find all the exploits in the game. And
Do you well when you, because it's the same way I got to this point with like EA UFC 2 and 3. I got to this point where I played it enough that I knew what the animations looked like for the most part, so I could tell what kind of strike was coming before it happened in some instances because I had played the game enough, right?
Okay.
I think it's kind of the same deal there. Did you ever have friends that were like really into Tekken or like Street Fighter?
Yeah, I have a couple friends that still
Mortal Kombat, the same thing too.
Yeah, so like, Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Guilty Gear, or even like Marvel vs. Capcom, that kind of stuff.
Though, like those dudes, like, have you played against any of them? Have you ever played video games with those guys?
Yeah, it's not fun.
It sucks, right?
No.
Like the guys who just can put you into those infinite combos and like just like they're juggling you. I used to like I said this on the Steve.
It's also
podcast.
polar opposites though, right? Like I have no idea what I'm doing versus like they.
But the problem is
it,
those games. Like I was gonna bring up like on the Hey Archer pod, we talked about my friend who was really good at Super Smash, right? And like playing him. And, like, I could play... Like, I'm not great at that game. I had a general understanding of how to play it, right? But, like... So, when you play with, like, 4 people who are on the same level as you, it's like a blast. You have the time of your life. But that dude, like, had half effort, could juggle me in the air.
So, like, that's another game I'm trash at. And, my boys now turned 9, but, like, was then 8-year-old son beat my ass in Super Smash Brothers. You know how much that sucks to lose to an 8-year-old? I was like, I hate this game.
We have to realize, and you are a bit younger than me, but like we're at that age now where we're gonna start losing to kids way younger than us at video games. Because you remember doing that I'm sure you play with adults occasionally when you were younger, right? Like, like whenever my uncle tried to pick up the sticks and play with me, bro, like. He would last like 5 minutes because he would be like, I can't. It's crazy when you get to our age or when you're in your like 30s, 40s. I just think your hand-eye coordination just like diminishes, you can't figure out like an older person their brain can't process like what their hand should do.
But I think it's the same argument of like growing up with it and like.
Yeah, I don't think
the older generation, like the games they grew up on, didn't have analog sticks and shit like that. You know what I mean? So like,
but at this point, I remember I was playing like Super Nintendo just on a basic ass like nowadays I kind of understand it because like an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller is a bit complex in the sense that like especially you think about the fact that we have rear buttons on our controllers, right, Dante? So like the fact that like we can process that quickly and it's not even second nature because I don't think about it, right? Like
if you don't think about it, isn't that what makes it second nature? Though?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it's like
muscle memory,
and that's where I was gonna agree that I think at this point in my life, until my hand dexterity is just shot, it's probably inherently I'm always gonna know how to like press the buttons on a controller.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to always be able to type on a keyboard without looking at it.
Can't do that.
You can't do that?
Well, so like I never did like typing class, so I don't have the home keys down, so I have to like look to start and then I can look away.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't have to do that. Can you text without looking?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at that. Like, it depends on the time of day.
So I'm pretty good at that because autocorrect saves me in most of those cases. Yeah.
I've just become I'll never forget I had this like the creepiest computer teacher in the world. And when you would when I was in like first grade, we would do like your typing class, right? Like you had like the computer class, but it was predominantly learning hand placement on a keyboard.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, I'm pretty sure like we got molested because we would put our hands on the control on the keyboard. Mm-hmm. And we'd be typing, like you type the sentences and it would be about trying to get as many words as you can within a minute or whatever. But I swear to God, I remember there was times where this guy would come up on you and he had a gizzard. He was an old guy and he had like a gizzard. You know what I mean? Like the floppy neck, the gross floppy neck.
Yeah.
Looked like a turkey. And he would like lean over your shoulders in the class and like put his hands like onto your hands to fix their placement.
And have the gizzard like stroking your ear,
like right over you, dude. So yeah, I think we got molested in computer class in first grade.
Then they call back, and this is why Lenny went on to play the flute.
Yeah, fuck. God, it was destiny. Long story short, though, I'm a great typer.
Okay. I think we all had a creep of a middle school computer teacher or whatever. But,
who was yours?
Mr. Masajewski.
Well, you just outed this man. You're mad at me about.
It's all right. Nobody knows his first name.
Yeah. Okay. That's a common last name. I'm sure.
I don't even know you know how to type that. Siri probably.
Well, I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna say Mr. Massachusetts as you were saying it. So.
Oh damn! All right. Well, we can bleep it anyways. But the reason this guy was creepy is because well, he just looked creepy. He looked greasy, and then also he on the weekends had a job as a clown.
Yeah, like at the local, like was it at haunted houses or?
No, like kids' parties.
Justin Long did that in New Girl.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever like see him do his clown act?
Nobody ever saw him do it, but like there was like one day like after school where somebody saw him getting into his car and saw the clown suit in the back seat. And then of course, kids are relentless, so we like, interrogated him about it basically. He was just like, yeah, that's my weekend job, moving on.
Yeah, like get the fuck over it. I remember we had a health teacher.
But then, of course, rumors sprout from that. I think we even started a rumor that, like, one of our English teachers was a stripper. She was just hot. It wasn't her fault.
There was one of our English teachers that went to our high school when she was younger. So, like, pictures leaked of her, like, smoking weed and stuff when we were in high school. So that was funny. We also had a health teacher who got fired for smoking cigarettes outside of school.
Okay.
That was really funny.
You got to be healthy to be the health teacher.
All right, so back on topic.
Yeah,
the Power Rangers movie. I was on Reddit. I was just happened to scroll through Reddit one morning, and I came across this trailer, and it was for the Power Rangers, and I was like, I started watching it, and for the first like 30 to 40 seconds, I was convinced that it was fan made. Because it just didn't really make a lot of sense to me that we were getting like. Because it was the original cast. Like, this is a new Power Rangers movie, but it's the people that were in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, shit.
But after the first minute, I was like, this is fucking real. Like, this is the real thing. And Rita Repulsa's back, and the Power Rangers have to reform to stop Rita Repulsa again. And you get 4 out of the 6 originals.
Okay.
One obviously being you don't have Jason David Frank, but I guess this was filmed before his passing. He just he opted to not do it, and then Amy Jo, the Pink Ranger, has opted to not be involved as well. And I found that interesting because I actually saw an article today where she tweeted today to like stop asking. She didn't not do it because of money and like whatever else. It's just she didn't want to be 50 and wear spandex every day, which. Rightfully so, I get it. I didn't realize they were all 50. They probably all maybe shouldn't do it. But we all need paychecks. So that's cool. So she was like, me and JDF both had decided not to do this before he passed away. Not to do with money. Somebody uncovered another tweet, though, that was like, she said that she never said no to the role, but she just said no to the offer that they had for her. So it kind of contradicts the idea that she didn't do it, that if they had paid her more money, she would have done it. But I also respect knowing your worth, right? If you think that you should get more money and that they need you that bad to make the movie, like she tried calling their bluff and they called hers, right? It's like, well, no, we don't need it. Like Netflix already probably guaranteed them a certain amount of money to do the movie. So either way, I actually, by the end of the trailer, was kind of amped because it hit the nostalgia for me. It's on Netflix, so they're not making me pay to go see it. So I'm cool. I'm excited. I'm going to watch. It's April 19th, so 4/20. I'll be back on the weed.
Do I get wow. I just want to know, do I get the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers intro song back with this?
That's a great question. I have to imagine you would do it. Right?
I need that.
If you don't do it, it's a fucking
like,
huge loss.
Even if you like throw me like a renewed rendition of it, like just give me that aura.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to watch this?
Maybe. I mean, the fact that I get to watch it at home and I don't have to commit to going somewhere, I might.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to watch it because we're going to have to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, it's homework.
Yeah.
It's great. This is why I dropped out of school, guys.
College dropouts. Well, high school dropouts. Late registration? No,
no, didn't register.
All right, let's keep it moving because we got to rocket through some of these. We've taken up far too much of our time as well already. Your time and our time. So can you just pull up odds for the UFC this weekend for me? I have them up somewhere on there. And I just want to quickly give my thoughts on there. Mostly on the main event. And maybe a couple other matchups I'll throw out my thoughts on there for. So quickly, I just want to say I think weirdly, Israel Adesanya is fighting Alex Pereira. He is.
Sure, if that's how you want to say it.
Would you like to say it for us?
No.
You speak
I'm
Spanish.
probably gonna mess it up.
So,
It's not a Spanish last name.
I know.
Pereira, I guess.
Pereira.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Pereira.
There's not even an H in there, bro.
Well, yeah, but 2 R's in Portuguese is an H.
No, it's not 2 R's though. Sure, keep going.
Hater. So Izzy is oddly enough favored, and the reason it's odd, Dante, because I know you don't know any of this, is he's lost 3 times to this guy. They fought 3 times. He's lost 3 times, and he's favored to win this fight.
Huh.
He got knocked out by him in the last fight.
Huh.
He's been knocked out 2 out of the 3 times.
And they just think he's gonna figure it out now?
Well, the thought is that he has basically won almost every minute of all 3 of these fights. And he's just like, he lost a close decision, I want to say, the first time. Got knocked out cold at the end, towards the end of the fight, the second time. And then the 5th round of their most recent fight, which is the first time they fought in the UFC, he got knocked out. Izzy had won the first 4 rounds, basically. And then this dude just knows that, like, he'll eventually find the moment and he'll knock Izzy the fuck out. So he did it. And they're basically, again, like, Vegas doesn't want to get beat by the fact that, like, Israel has kind of shown that he is more skillful on the feet than this guy is. That he is a better tactician on the feet than this guy is. Well, tactician's an interesting way to put it, I suppose, because, like, tactically, this guy is deciding not to put out a ton of output and eventually looking for a spot to land the punch. That's pretty tactical itself, right?
Yeah, it's a technique.
Yeah, so it's just weird to me. I think I would still lean towards Izzy, but if you're leaning towards Izzy, then you might as well parlay this with the rounds, because I think if for Izzy to win, granted, he did rock Pereira in the first round of their last fight. So, I'm not to say that Izzy can't finish somebody, but I think if you're looking at his fights as of more recent, he isn't really finishing people. He's fighting technical fights and keeping himself as out of danger as he can. And he's going to have to tread lightly with this guy, because if this guy does land on him, it's going to be over for him. So you're either going to be taking Adesanya with the rounds, or you're going to flip that and you're going to look for, I would say, some type of KO prop on Pereira to keep the belt. If you do that, you could even try to get a little cheeky and try to pick the round. Maybe you go late. You could either pick after the 4th round, and you're probably getting really juicy positive odds, I have to imagine. Excuse me. So there's that one. What is the co-main? It's Jorge Masvidal and Gilbert Burns, right?
Yeah.
I think that there is a chance. This is going to be an interesting one, because Masvidal is not looked as good. He's looking a little older. He is in his mid-30s. The question is, has the division finally moved past him as a guy who's been so durable for so long? There's only 1 or 2 guys left in the UFC who have been there as long as he has. He might even be the longest tenured at this point. I'm struggling to rattle one off. I normally would have had something like this in the pocket.
Hey.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say he's probably the longest tenured at this point. I know I read something recently. It's him and somebody else. With that being said, though, Gilbert Burns is a tornado, I guess would be how you put it. I mean, the guy is gonna fucking come forward. He's gonna throw a lot of strikes, and the fear, I think, is that I think Masvidal could either get finished, he could get behind early in points, and I think what you're gonna find is the best course to win for Masvidal is going to be looking for like a left hook, like check knockout, maybe drop him. I don't see many avenues for Masvidal to win, and that's why right now I think he's a 3 or 4 to 1 underdog. I do think he's a live dog, because I do think he is the kind of guy to pull something out in a fight like this. But if you look historically through his career, there's been a lot of times where he's been willing to fight off the back foot or let decisions get away from him. And then parlay that with the fact that he's getting older. What's his durability look like? Because if this dude starts landing heavy blows on him, is he going to be able to withstand it? I'm probably going to stay away from betting on this fight. If I was going to do anything, I probably would look at a Masvidal upset, because I just don't love it otherwise. I might throw Gilbert in on a parlay just because it does seem like a pretty probable outcome that he wins. A couple other ones on the card. I do like Adrian Yanez to beat Rob Font. Either that's a tough one to call how it's going to go. I'll just say I do. Rob Font, local guy to Boston, hard to pick against him, but Adrian Yanez coming off a really, really good knockout of what's his name, Andrea KGB Lee's racist ass husband there. It was one of the best knockouts of the year just because the dude's racist.
Jesus Christ.
The other one is Calvin Gastelum versus Curtis. What's the name on there? Can you get me Curtis?
Chris Curtis.
Chris Curtis. Thank you. I love Calvin Gastelum. I'm going to pick him. He might not win. He's constantly disappointed me, but I'm going to pick Gastelum. So overall, I think this is a pretty exciting card. I'm sure I missed some stuff on there, but I don't want to spend too long. We got some other stuff to get into here. But I did want to make sure to touch on it. Definitely go out of your way I'd say to watch this one. Adesanya is still must-watch TV. His fights haven't maybe been as exciting as they were on his come-up, but like when you get to the top, it's more about staying there. But his style is always interesting. He's a polarizing guy, I would say, in general. Or you're going to get somebody like Alex Pereira solidifying himself in that position. And what he moves on to is possibly a showdown with like Khamzat Chimaev or even moving up in weight, because I think both are really, really serious options for this guy because he's massive. But let's move on to we're going to bang out, let's do the Nolan stuff next here. So this will be probably the last topic before we get into what we're watching this week. Christopher Nolan had an interesting take, and I have it up there, Dante. If you could maybe run us through the quotes. And his take, essentially, in a nutshell, is that he was talking about making The Dark Knight Rises and some of his goals going into that movie, and how he doesn't really think that there are any great third movies in a series. You have a quote?
I'm not going to read the whole quote, but basically, yeah, there's no good third sequels, basically. Rocky 3, maybe, is the only one he gives any credit to.
Okay. And is there quotes further down that maybe talks about... So his main point was that when he made The Dark Knight Rises, so he tried to make, in the trilogy that he made for the Batman, or for Batman, not the Batman.
Ooh.
What?
No, I'm sorry, now I'm reading the whole quote. I didn't actually read this when you first pulled it up. But now I'm seeing like his whole theory behind it.
So what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, you don't have to read the whole thing, but I believe his whole point is that so the first movie he made was an origin story. The second movie was a crime noir similar to like Heat. And then the third movie, he was like, you have to change everything. You can't go down, you have to go up in terms of how you make that movie, right? So he tried to make more of an action, more explosives with the third movie. And I get the feeling that he's not saying this in like I'm happy with it vibe, right? Is that what you gather? Like, does he feel like he'd made a good movie? Is that what I'm...
No, it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. So I don't even know. Like Rocky 3, I almost feel like aside from like Mr. T being like so memorable, I feel like that does get lost in the fold a little bit because like, when people think Rocky at this point, and this like currently today, I think you think Rocky 1, you think Apollo Creed, you think Rocky 4 with Drago, and then you get to like Creed in your head, kind of, right?
Yeah,
I don't know
Creed
if
3 at the top.
Yeah, I just don't know if like, and I'm not saying Rocky 3 is bad. That's not my point, but I guess I just don't know where that really falls as far as me thinking that that's like the one that breaks the mold. So what I thought would be interesting to do here is we have a list up there that was maybe from IMDb talking about their what they consider to be cite the website because I'm actually wrong, right? So the Screen Crush was one of them, and there was one other tab I left open, maybe.
You just had the Google search. So
what's the very first tab on the Google search?
It is from IMDb, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, the other one's a list from IMDb that talks about the top 10 third movies in a franchise. And what we were going to do is our own little top 5. For anybody out there who has not watched our previous top 5s, me and Matt have a few of them that we've released over the days. So go and check those out. They're always some of our best episodes, I think. But this time, this is going to be an impromptu, very short, condensed version of our top 5s. And then we're going to talk about their list a little bit. So I'm going to start with my first overall. This is my number one. I think it's crazy that this man says Creed 3 and he doesn't say this movie. It's Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Well, of course you're gonna
It's
go
fucking Die Hard with a Vengeance. Samuel L.
course you're gonna
Jackson
go.
is awesome in that movie. Bruce Willis, awesome. There's this really sweet movie of him, video of him on his birthday recently. He's dealing with dementia these days. Really sad. But that movie has the legendary water jug scene. It also has like, what would you do with all the gold in your Fort Knox? There's just, dude. It's a Jeffrey Irons is the bad guy in that. That movie's great. So that would be my number one third movie in a franchise. Your number one.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that's the
that
third
counts.
in Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think that plays because this was the complicated thing with the Disney list, and one of the like some of the stuff we kind of omitted. Like they had Infinity War, and I don't consider that to be able to be in my list. So that like those types of movies won't be there because I still think that has to have a lot of other movies that feed into it for it to work. But that's okay. I'll take that as Spider-Man No Way Home. I think that's I didn't see that one coming. So cool. My number 2 on my list, and there will be crossover. We're not going with any of our traditional rules where you can't pick anything else. We're not drafting. Toy Story 3 is going to make my list at number 2. I think that all 4 Toy Story movies hold up still to this day as fantastic movies, and to not say that the third one is worthwhile of being a good entry into the franchise of movies, it would be inaccurate.
No, I mean, yeah, they all hit.
Yeah, you can't like. I'm not saying that like that it's.
It's not like the third one is the best one.
No, but it's just very
they
good.
Didn't fail.
No, exactly. Yeah. It's just a solid movie all the way through.
Yeah.
Your number 2.
Yeah, you're gonna hate me for this. Creed 3.
You motherfucker. But I don't think that counts in this logic either, right? Like, or does it?
Not?
I don't know because like he's using Rocky 3, and it's like Rocky 3. Creed 3 doesn't happen without Rocky 3.
But it's still its own separate thing. This is like, you know.
I'm gonna let it slide.
Later, it's a spin-off. Like, it's its own thing.
I think you're right. I'm gonna let it slide, but I have to challenge it a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3 on the list of top third movies in a franchise, War for the Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
This is. Did you watch any of the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, or War of the Planet of the Apes?
Those are like the more like recent ones, right?
Yes.
I've definitely watched, I think, the first 2. I don't think I caught the third one.
So 100% watch the third one.
Okay.
The third one, you have like a Woody Harrelson character that is crazy and hates the apes and is created a war against them, basically. And they're like, you know, they're
just to make sure, because I think I saw the first 2. The first 2 is like first when he raises the ape, right?
James Franco raises the ape, and then he escapes into the world.
And then the second one is when he's like in the woods and trying to come back to the city type shit, right?
Yeah, so when he escapes in the second one, there's this thing called like the simian flu that starts killing people off, and then like the apes start they're trying to free him. He frees all of those apes. They escape into the woods, and then you start the third movie with they've built like civilizations basically.
Okay. Yeah.
And Woody Harrelson's like the bad guy, and there's just a lot of really, really good action sequences, and the ability that movie has to like, and it's the dude who plays Gollum from like Lord of the Rings is the one who plays the main character in the main ape in this movie or these 3 movies. His ability to emote when it's not him, yes, like it's so awesome, you know. So yeah, that's gonna be mine. War of the Planet of the Apes. War for the Planet of the Apes.
I think if I saw that one, I'd probably ride with you on that.
There's still time, brother.
But I had my third one as Dark Knight Rises.
Okay. So you think that is a good one?
Yeah.
I don't really enjoy that one that much. I think I'm more on the side of Nolan here, where I'm like, it just didn't. You know what's so tough is I think that the Dark Knight Rises is so beholden for like how amazing it is, like surpassing. It's that and like Spider-Man 2 are like the first superhero movies to exceed just being a superhero movie. You know what I mean?
So you think it's not as good as people talk it up to be, which makes it look worse by comparison?
I don't know if people talk up The Dark Knight Rises as a good movie.
Well, that's what you were just saying, no? Like when I'm talking about like relevant to like when it came out.
I just wonder, like, I don't know if I don't think it's a great movie because it's coming after what is arguably the best like superhero comic book movie of all time.
I mean, we were just saying, like, you don't get that much good stuff out of DC, and like,
This is different though.
yeah, I know it's
This
a whole
predates
different property and
any
whatnot.
of
Yeah,
that, you
like
know?
it's not operating within a universe and all that
Mhm.
stuff. But
I'm not
I liked
hating.
it.
Like my opinion, right?
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have on your list. My opinion would just be that I don't think that I love that movie.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Mhm.
Moving on.
My fourth is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
I knew that was going to be on your list.
The reason this is on the list is because realistically, the first and second are okay, but they're not great. It's because the kids are young and they've never acted before. The third movie is considered the one that takes off for the franchise because it's the first one where they're grown and they actually start to really act within the movies. And I think they're looked back on really, really fondly, and I really enjoy it. So that's my fourth.
Okay. My fourth, I mean, going on with the logic that I don't by far think this is like the best one in the franchise or whatever, but I did enjoy it as a standalone movie. Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious.
Dante's the only one who has that on its list.
What? No.
You're the only person I know who that's their favorite Fast and the Furious movie.
That's not my favorite Fast and the Furious movie, but we were talking about in respect to third movies.
Which ones? Okay, give me a quick rundown on your favorite Fast and Furious movies.
Like, in order?
Yeah, because you said it's not. Because I genuinely think that's your favorite one.
No, it actually goes 2, 1, 3, and then all the rest or whatever.
He's an idiot.
I'm an idiot?
Yeah, he's an idiot.
All right.
2, 1, 3, dude?
Dude, like, you gotta remember, like, I'm a car guy, right? So, like, I like Fast and Furious when it was about the cars.
2 wasn't really about the cars that much, though. Like, the
There
drive...
was still,
so
the
there's a
racing
ton of...
was still
okay,
present.
so there's a ton of racing in that, but, like, the racing's not as good in that one, right? You don't... Do you agree?
No, like, it was only
It's
really
way more
good
CGI in that one.
Yeah, no, I give you that, right? But, like, it was still a street racer movie.
Like, I think you're putting number 2 there because of Pockets A and Empty Cuz, which I had an idea today, and I wanted to run this by you, and I'm glad we're doing it on the pod. Do you think it sells to have a t-shirt with on the edge of the bottom of the shirts, there's like pockets sticking up with like money hanging out of them?
So you tuck in... Wait, what? No.
So it's almost like you see like the shirt is like pockets at the bottom of it.
Okay, so you tuck in your shirt and there's a pocket.
You know, I guess you don't have to tuck it in. If you want to tuck it in, you can tuck it in.
Okay.
But it's like, and it says like across the shirt, like Pockets A and Empty Cuz, and like there's money coming out of the pockets.
Oh, so this is like a gag shirt.
Yeah, kind of.
I think you're a little late for that one.
I think it still plays. There's like that whole homage website that sells t-shirts.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a whole, like we're gonna at the end ask you guys what your top 5 would be, but I would be very interested to know how you rank the first 3 Fast and Furious. Just go by his criteria because he's wrong. Like the other movies are all better than really the first 3, but
no. The first 3 and the rest of them are a completely different series.
I'm gonna go on my Letterboxd sometime in the next couple days, and I'm gonna throw up my list in order of my Fast and Furious movies.
I'm also thinking on the fly, like I might go 1, 2, 3 or 2, 1, 3, but
it's some variation of that.
It's the first 3 are definitely the best ones for you.
All right, and my number 5, and I put this on here. I always feel weird about using these ones just because it's kind of like what you said earlier with the Spider-Man, because this is a superhero movie and it's involved in somewhat a bigger universe. But I'm going to use this Logan. Okay. I actually really like the Wolverine. I don't think that's a popular opinion to like that movie a ton, but I really like that one. But Logan is by far the best of all 3 of those Wolverine movies. So you have Wolverine Origins, then you had Wolverine, and then you had Logan. And I think Logan stands head and shoulders as the best one in the entirety of those franchises. So again, I think that Nolan's scope on things is very localized to like shit that he cares about. And to be quite frank, and we didn't even get into this, I don't care about any of the things that Christopher Nolan cares about because I don't really like any of his movies that aren't Batman.
Damn.
So what's your 5th?
My 5th was Bad Boys 3.
Okay, I didn't put that on the list, but I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That was shockingly good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
to come back and do it that many years later and still have a good movie.
Exceed expectations, I would say, overall. And with a PG-13 rating. I'm fairly positive. So, Yeah, props to them. That's actually a really good one. That might be the best pick on your whole list, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Yeah, you finished strong, though. That's great.
All right, yeah. Give me
Yeah,
that.
no, I'm happy. This is a compliment. I think that's really good. My whole point on the Nolan thing is like that fucking Oppenheimer shit. Stupid. Get that out of here. We don't. Did you enjoy that trailer?
No, I
To me,
didn't even really watch all of it.
so that movie's gonna be 3 hours long. It's gonna be the longest Nolan movie that is ever made. You would never have to tell me that he made that movie and I would know instantly because again, it's like everything in that movie's filmed in sepia. You know, it's all fucking tan.
Yeah.
Like everything in the movie's it's like you're filmed in the desert or something. I don't know. I think it is filmed in the desert probably.
Damn.
But either way, it's just like he does that like every single movie, whether it's The Dark Knight, whether it's Interstellar, like he always has the same aesthetic to all of his movies. It just feels the same. This movie though, we all like, what is the point? It's all building to a fucking explosion, right? Like that's the whole point in this movie is it's building to the explosion of a nuclear bomb.
Okay, that's the movie. Yeah.
So I'm not into it. If you're into it, let me know. If I'm wrong, what's your top 5 third movies in a franchise? Doesn't have to be trilogy. It could be. There's more than 3 of them. But what is your favorite third movie in a franchise? I would also like to know if there is a Nolan movie that isn't the Dark Knight franchise that I should give more of a shot to. I know a lot of people feel like Interstellar is great. I could never watch it. I'm not interested. What else have we got from him? More recently, like I didn't watch Dunkirk. I probably should. I'm going to be doing a theater room in my house with surround sound. I think I'll probably give Dunkirk a shot when that comes, and I might enjoy that one. War movie can always be pretty good. You're trying to find something else there. I've never seen Memento. Is that him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
No, I'm not. None of it's really jumping at me.
Cool. Well, thank you if you've made it all the way to here. We have definitely had a not streamlined conversation into this one. It's been quite all over the place, but I've had a lot of fun. It's been actually great. These are my favorite episodes when we just kind of lose our minds somewhere halfway through them. So It's been real cool. What are we watching this upcoming week? I have tickets on Wednesday to see Dungeons and Dragons, so that's what I'll be coming in with next week. Like I said, I got the UFC event this weekend. I might come back also with a video at some point this week talking about WrestleMania. This is probably top 5 weekends of the year for me every year. I actually am bummed I didn't take work off, even though you really don't need work off for these things because like it starts at like 7. So why would I need to take the whole day off from work? But I'm that excited about it. And this year it feels like we've kind of got it right. So if you're a wrestling fan, I hope you're checking it out. If you are a wrestling fan, let me know down below who's winning this weekend. There's a million matches, but let's just go main event. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, does he get it done? And like I said, I might come back with a prediction video, either TikTok or here. Who knows yet? Dante, you have anything to watch?
So I didn't respond to the group chat, but I'm definitely actually going to be there with you to watch Dungeons and Dragons. So
yeah, this is awesome, right? That it's a Wednesday.
Yeah, no, that's
way better
cool.
because now there's not like we have this pressure every Thursday of getting out of work and trying to make our way to a movie theater in time. Yeah. And the idea that we can get it out of the way on Wednesday and then I still get out early on Thursdays to enjoy my day because I kind of have my schedule built around that. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And then I don't have a what to watch and I might be a little late on it, but if you guys haven't heard T-Pain on top of the covers, his cover album, like please. Just please.
I tried it yesterday.
No? You didn't like it? You don't sound like you were thrilled.
Tennessee Whiskey was whack.
Okay. For me,
I hate
That's
Journey.
Life. It was That's Life and War Pigs.
So War Pigs was good, but Joe Budden shit all over War Pigs.
Really?
Because he brought it up. It's like, dude, like what makes War Pigs so special is the real instrumentation, and it's very obvious that T-Pain used no real instruments on any of this album.
What do you mean he didn't use real instruments?
It's all computerized. It's all fucking from a mix board.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, like think about it, So that does take away a bit of the soul of what makes that album great. But yeah, I mean, like the Stay song, Stay With Me or whatever, I liked that. The Journey song is fine, but I just fucking hate Journey. Like I can't. When I saw that was on the track listing, I was like, that
was
just
actually the
out.
only one I skipped.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the whole thing. To be fair,
kind of sick of,
There's still 3 I haven't heard off of it yet, and I didn't listen to the whole War Pigs one.
That's Life. That was my number one.
All right, that's the one you think I should check out. I mean, he's great. Like I don't mean to say like I'm not like T-Pain's awesome. I'm glad that he has found a way to be relevant this far into his career as well. Like I think that's awesome. So, anything else?
No, That's it for me, dog.
No, cool. It's been real, guys. Thank you so much for being here. As always, if you could leave a like, drop a comment down below, subscribe to the channel. You can find us anywhere that audio podcasts are available, such as Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. They're usually, it's like a brand. You pour them in your. Oh, D's Nuts. These nuts.
Or where?
Also, we're on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram at For Those With Good Taste. On Twitter at Good Taste Live. Dante, quickly fit it in. Where is you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, quickly. You cut me off. Dirty Water ENT on Twitch. DirtyWater_ENT on YouTube and Instagram.
Like Leon Edwards, I'm shooting you motherfuckers in the head. We out. Peace.
For those with good taste.
Love you.